Welcome to a beautiful spring morning in County Sligo. I'm actually surprised how good the weather is, and it's forecast for the rest of the week to be quite good. There's actually real heat in that sun, and gosh, it was a long winter. And speaking of a star is coming out and starting to bring new life to the world. Don't forget, I'm in Peterborough next Wednesday night in England, doing an event on a star and the esoteric and spiritual meaning of spring and how we've lost it and how we need to get back to it. Anyway, speaking of that rebirth, I was just talking to a friend the other day there, and so many people I know who are politically active. What I mean by that is activist groups, or were politically involved here in Ireland or whatever and in other places. They have no interest in politics anymore. It's like we're living in a post-political age, or post-politics age. And I don't know, a lot of them are friends of mine. They follow my work, so I don't know how much I've influenced them on that. I really don't. But it is interesting, this post-political age. I think the likes of Trump had a lot to do with that. I think he's kind of killed the idea of the career politician. I think that those days are kind of over, and people won't vote for politicians who are statesmen or stateswomen or statespeople like that guy and that weirdo in Canada. I think people want to be inspired. They don't want to be, they don't want the inspirational speeches. They want managers, and they want captains of industry, and they want people who have experience managing corporations, managing companies, to run their country as a manager with no philosophical dogma, no kind of democratic kind of bullshit, because we know democracy is a horrible system. Basically it rewards who's the biggest liar, and so that's why that's why the Trump thing was important. We had to kill the idea of the great politician, and all you have to do is look at North America. You have Canada is like the shadow of Trump, and you have like people like Justin Trudeau who goes out of his way to be as sickeningly politically correct and virtue signaling as possible, and comes across shallow and fake to everyone who is shallow and fake. And a lot of people I know who are involved in activism and politics here, they were driven out by mainly one thing, that other people involved in activism were repulsive. I mean, that's the problem. They would like, if they weren't, you see, these people join political activism in the belief that they think that they can change the world or affect the political change. And when that doesn't happen, by marching, I'm talking about there's different kinds of political activism, I'll get to in a second, by marching and by waving flags and banging drums and all that nonsense, they start, because they didn't get any change within the political system, and it hasn't validated their megalomania, and that's what drives a lot of them to do it, but the belief that they're somehow a saviour of humanity. What they do is they turn on other people, usually the decent people within activism. And then the complete stupidity of activism. Like a socialist group in Cambridge in England wanted to ban the Hindu holiday Holi because it was Nazi. Now, why was it Nazi? Because the Hindus venerate the swastika. This is the kind of stupidity you're dealing with these people. Now, what I'm delighted to see is that many of the people who are now post-politics have embarked on creative lives. They're involved in the arts, they're involved in creating things, they're going visiting ancient sites, they're interested in esoteric ideas, in ancient spirituality, and they can't be bothered with politics anymore. Now, there is a kind of activism I do support, like the people who stand up against fracking, because that's tangible and it's also a winnable thing. Like many of the people who go on these marches, and the Irish activism pages were full of them a few years ago. You don't see so many now. It's always the same thing. Some twat wearing a Dublin GAA Gaelic football top, or carrying a Dublin GAA flag or a tricolour, walking down O'Connell Street in Dublin with a pair of sunglasses, and that's his photograph for either his cover page or his profile pic on Facebook. And they're all the same. They're all twats. They're all like, look at me, I'm a hero, I'm a revolutionary. They're like Anto from Anto and Deco, and they're gone. That's not appealing to intelligent people. Intelligent people and decent people don't want to be around toxic people like that. But like I said, the ones who go and protest fracking sites or any kind of pollution thing, see, that's the great tragedy of it. People like the Green Party should be out there protesting fracking and pollution. And who's out there? It's people like Enor Crane and all those people out on the front line trying to stop the fracking in their part of England. And yet the likes of the Green Party are slagging them off, are putting them down, because the Green Party are ultimately globalist. If you see my Greens documentary on my open source occult TV channel, they're ultimately globalists who have it's nothing to do with environmental or ecology. It's purely socialism wrapped up in a green skin, the watermelons. So that's the kind of, that to me is more like political action. It's not activism. When I think of activism, I think of the twats banging drums and marching through Trafalgar Square or whatever, and you know, their dreadlocks. That's all dead. That we live in that just fed into the system. That's all dead. And the drums were all, a lot of those groups like the SWP were all spies and infiltrators, dared to destroy any or take over any kind of activism like that, marching, and that's all. That changes nothing. So it's good to see that. So we're living in a post-politics age, and long may that continue.